Hi guys, it's Marc Zicree, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Marc Zicree of Space Command. But right now I'm Marc Zicree of Merry Christmas! And, and I wanted to take just a moment, in addition to wishing you all a happy holiday, to talk a little bit about how Christmas has changed for the better for all of us science fiction fans. First of all, there's a ton of science fiction toys and games and gifts. In fact, I just posted some things on Mr. Sci-Fi where you can buy Space Command T-shirts and mugs and all sorts of stuff, and also some Mr. Sci-Fi merchandise too. So go have at it. But more than that, I wanted to talk about Christmas ornaments, because when I was a kid, this is what an ornament looked like. Okay, it was a kind of a variant of this, and you might have like bubble lights or something to give it a little bit of livelihood and life. But this was about what you got, and it was pretty generic. But over time, things started to change, and you started to be able to get ornaments that were less about Christmas per se, and more about what you yourself were into and interested in. And then it became very fun to get Christmas ornaments. Now it started with things like sort of like this, where it's like, okay, landing on the moon, and I think this may light up or talk or do. I think it talks, but it's not talking right now because I haven't plugged it into the lights. But that was that was okay. But then they started to have ornaments related to actively science fictional things. Now there's some that are a little bit generic in a way. Like there's this one, but one might think it's kind of generic until you look at the Buck Rogers toy from the 1930s behind me, and then you'll notice that this is very much inspired by that. And this was a toy that actually saw various iterations as Flash Gordon toy, Buck Rogers, etc. But it's fun to have this on it. And it's made of tin, and it's cool. It's got wheels on it. It's neat. But then you started to get things like Star Trek. Star Trek started having ornaments. And let me see what we have here. Okay, well, like, for instance, one of the early ones was this Star Trek shuttlecraft. And it, does different things and talks and so forth. And, etc. Some of these light up, some of them talk, but that's a pretty cool and accurate looking shuttlecraft, and you can hang that on your tree. Now, a lot of these ornaments I'm going to show you, you can get on eBay or Amazon or whatever. Now, but sometimes with Amazon, you have to, it's buyer beware, because, for instance, I got this very cool Captain Pike in his wheelchair from the original Star Trek, and it even talks.
Spock, would you care to take Captain Pike to the transporter room? Thank you, sir. For both of us.
Now you may wonder why Kirk and Spock are talking, because in this ornament, if you get the version of it that they made, it's got Kirk and Spock standing on either side. But I didn't know that, so when I bought it on eBay, it had just Captain Pike. But that's cool because it does everything else that it's supposed to do, and Captain Pike is really what matters. But pretty much every year they'll do a Star Trek ornament relating to a different episode. So this, for instance, is Mirror Mirror with the bearded Spock giving McCoy the lowdown.
I feel what you feel. I know what you know.
Truly the spirit of Christmas. And so each year I try to get at least one cool one. And they've had different iterations of Star Trek. So for instance, this is the Wrath of Khan one with Spock and so forth, and it's neat, very neat. And then they even had ones for Enterprise, and that's a very nice spacesuit from the Enterprise TV show. But of course, you're saying, well, what about Star Wars? Where's Star Wars? Now, I will show you some of those that I actually have. Even though I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, I have the Millennium Falcon, which is very neat. And I also have BB-8 from the more recent iteration. There he is. And I don't think this one, maybe it talks. It might. Does something when you push some button somewhere. And then let's see what else we have here. Now, you might think that this would be my favorite science fiction Christmas ornament, given my being the author of the Twilight Zone Companion. And it is very cool, with a TV set from that era, and and the screen lights up and all that stuff. It's neat, but it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite one, though it is very cool, and I'm glad to have it. But I'll show you some others that I like a lot. Now, of course, here's the alien mother from Aliens and the alien queen. And what would that be without Sigourney Weaver? Get away from her, you bitch! And you can even reenact. Whoops! Yikes! Look! Wow, that fight was so violent it knocked over the camera. But you can reenact your own, battles from Aliens, your favorite scenes. And of course, here's the alien from the first Alien movie. And so we all remember the heartwarming Christmas story of the chest burster coming out of Jesus's chest, and then him healing himself. Or am I getting my scriptures muddled? So, but this year I got my favorite Christmas ornament, science fiction Christmas ornament, and I wanted to share it with you because it's only $19 and you can still get them on Amazon, and it's from Hallmark, and it is wonderful. It is the HAL 9000 Christmas ornament.
Daisy, give me your answer too.
The 9000 series is the most reliable computer ever made. No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information. We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error. My mission responsibilities range over the entire operation of the ship, so I am constantly occupied. I am putting myself to the fullest possible use, which is all I think that any conscious entity can ever hope to do.
It's great. It's great. When I was a kid, Christmas ornaments didn't talk unless you were seriously psychotic. But but so that's just too good to be. I mean, when I was a kid, if someone said someday I would have this thing, this is just, I mean, this won't just be on a Christmas tree. This is something that I will keep by me throughout the year, and it will keep me definitely in line. But the fun part is that. Whatever your science fiction or fantasy predilections are, Harry Potter, any of that stuff, there's Christmas ornaments to decorate your tree, and also, of course, presents to go around the tree. So I love Christmas. It's a great time. It's a great time of year to be with loved ones, and many of my friends and family know my tastes and act accordingly, which is really wonderful. So I just wanted to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. It's an amazing time for all of us, and I'm very grateful for the year I've just had with Space Command, with all of you, with Mr. Sci-Fi, and I know that 2019 is going to be a great year ahead, and I just wanted to share a little bit of my Christmas with you. I'll be decorating the tree tomorrow with Elaine, and we'll be enjoying a really great holiday. So to you and yours, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and also, of course, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, make sure you're with people who love you. That's it for now. Take care. Bye-bye.